It be Mr. PJ, the TC Pirate to the Treasure Coast. Live tonight from the Orlando of the Ozarks, better known as Branson. Just want to let you know that they are infected with the communist germs here. They like to have their masks on. Only really corporate America requiring it. All the local businesses are like, what are masks? And I agree with them. Okay, and so what I want to let you know is giving you an update. It's the first episode of Mr. PJ at the Aqua Barn. Going to be doing a flyer. Just a rough draft, thinking what we're going to do. Pirate's Guide to the Ozarks. Because we are in the Orlando of the Ozarks. The Aqua Barn, I mentioned that. That's been a trip. I came up here and decided I was going to stay for the winter. I just want to see the winter. I got some friends that moved here that are warm-natured, and I just want to kind of hang out. And to be honest, it's different. So anyways, I decided I'm going to hang out here and be here over the winter. Every part of the Aqua Barn so far has been this huge wall bashing against me. I lost fish. Everything that could go wrong with this project has. And so later on when I talk about tribulation, I'm going to bring the Aqua Barn back up. Okay, then we're talking about the booty game. Okay, the booty game. Okay, that's where you can get something out of the booty box. We always have a booty box around somewhere. This is a booty box. There'll be some treasure in there. What could be in there? Do you want to see? You want to sit in the hot seat? Arr! The cell phone fell over. It's been drinking too much rum. And we're not going to do any more editing. So it is what it is. Arr. So now we're crooked. Hey, it looks like an old Batman show. Anyways, I seen him as a rerunner as a kid. So, if you can name this flag, you could win something out of the booty box. What is that flag? That's the generic flag of the pirate. Now, the question is you want to play the real game, the naughty game? We'll be doing some interesting things that we're going to be talking about and working with over the next 5 months now, because we've already been here 1 month, and we just been getting set up. And so now we got 5 months left in the project, and then we don't know what we're going to do from there. But in the meantime, we always have the naughty game. And what is the naughty game? Well, it involves ropes. Maybe you like ropes, maybe you don't. But we know how to tie knots. Do you know how to tie knots? Do you know what kind of knot that is? Is it a granny? And so that's the naughty game. And we have all kinds of ropes for all kinds of naughty. Har, har, har. But in order to play the game, you must prove that you're a pirate. And name that flag. With all that said, we are hiring. We are looking for some folks to do some technical work. We're looking for, I don't want to say volunteers, but interns of some sort. Probably go down to Ozark College and find out if we got anybody who wants to participate and do a couple shoots of some different things, and we're looking for some editors and things of that nature there. No one wants to work anymore, it seems like, so I might as well just outsource to Philippines, which we're doing. Also want to say that we're going to be doing the Pirate's Guide to the Ozarks, a flyer, and so there'll be a map, and then of course all the way around it will be the little hot buttons like we normally do, this active PDF. One of the people that are going to get some free advertising from us is the Midtown Cafe in Reed Springs. Awesome place to go. Very veteran friendly. Also, by the way, there's a pirate museum in downtown Branson or out there someplace. It's next to Paula Dean's place. I don't know where that is. I've been to Paula Dean's place, not actually inside, but behind it to fix something because I'm an IT tech. And so with all that said and done, let me talk to you a little bit about the pirate that I portray, because a lot of you don't know this is episode 1 and you guys wouldn't even know, but I portray this pirate, and I'm not going to give you his name today because it would not be fair to the game. But when I portray this pirate, he's got an unusual history and unusual character. For one thing, he's a Christian. He was aboard of a navigator aboard a slave ship, and he really did not like the way the Bohemian and the Martinique people treated the cargo, whether it be people, sugar, or rum, because that's pretty much the triangle that he was working for His King's Majesty when they were overtaken by pirates. And it happened to be that the pirate that took over his ship was from his native town, and so they hit it off, and the life of a captain on a pirate ship is very short-lived. In the 2 years that he lived, it was 465 boats or vessels that he had conquered, either sunken or killed, destroyed, or commandeered. So he's a very prolific pirate. And it's a funny how his whole story, how his whole thing became about, because when the guy that scripted him to be part of the pirate, shanghaied him, as we say, into being on his ship to be a pirate. When he died, the crew came to this pirate, me, I portray, and says, we want you to be our new captain. Well, the way it works on a pirate ship, if you refuse, they can kill you. But you can offer a counter offer. And if they refuse the counter offer, then you are not having to be captain. And there are things that go along with captain, and there's things that go along without being a captain. And I'm not sure you want to be captain. I'd rather be a quartermaster than captain. But that's just me particularly. So when they came to him saying, hey, Mr. Such and Such, would you please be our captain? Which they probably didn't say it that way. It was more like, aye, matey, we decided that the crew elected you to be captain. And of course, the response was very simply, you got to get back to you on that. Let me think about this 24 hours. Comes back 24 hours later, says, I've got a counter offer. I've got this faith in this God and these things and these stars and all this stuff. I'm devout to it. I've been, since the day you got me, and before that, I was always been. I can't be a good navigator and not believe in the stars and the Creator that created them. So we will have church services recognizing the Creator every Sunday at 10 a.m. Me, I'm more like a 10 p.m. kind of guy, but anyways. And the crew accepted. So part of what I talk about when I do this thing is I try to do a pirate sermon on Sundays, dressed as a pirate, and in an inconvenient time, of course. And just imagining and making it a story. It's fiction. It's not real. It's not true. It's fiction, but it's fun fiction. Dressed like a pirate, And so, but there's usually good moral stories and good things. And so, part of what I want to do here shortly is, and soon, is to do a kids channel of some videos for my pseudo kid. You see, with all the trials and tribulations that I've been having this past month, because it's really been a month since I've been here. I paid my rent last week, and it's been about a month. And every reason, every possibility, every logical dictate, every red flag that could possibly go up that says you should go back to Florida showed up. To the point that, to be honest, I came up here to try to hook up with a friend from many years ago, and not hook up like permanently. Like, I want to be her kid's dad. That's who I want to be. And I want to love her unconditionally. Like, and but it's been this right girl, wrong time, every time. And so, again, this week I found out it's right girl again, wrong time. And that was the final straw. I was like, screw it. I can go home to Florida. And so there's this thing that we have and we talk about, and I will talk about it as a Christian. I talk about things that are New Age kind of things, and even pagan stuff that you may not agree with, or you may not understand, or you may just want to say, "You're a heretic, you're going to hell." I don't care. But the energy that the Creator used to create everything that we know, the stars, the earth, the tree, everything that He created. And I do believe in that. And I believe that the Creator had a son or a savior that He created, and the flood and the whole 9 yards and all this. And the reason why I believe it is not only is it told in what I subscribe to, which is the Christian version with Jesus, the same story has been over 23 or 27 other cultures. Same story, different people play the same roles, but it's the same story. It's called the greatest story ever told. And so that storyline is a frequency, the frequency of that storyline. And I say that because when we start talking about frequencies and understanding spiritual things are like radio signals, like Wi-Fi. I got Wi-Fi in my house, or my barn. I got 2.4 and I got 5. If I'm inside the barn, I can't go outside the barn and get 5, but I can get 2.4. When I'm in the barn, I get 5, and it just flies. Why is that? It's because the frequency that we're subscribing to has different characters. So the 2.4 frequency goes through metal walls. The 5.0 bounces back. It's not strong enough. And the difference in the frequency is the 2.4 is a little hole that points out. And the 5.0 is a big pipe that points out. And the amount of pressure you can put in the thing in the smaller pipe to push forward is greater than what you can do with the 5.0. In a nutshell, for the users that are slightly untechnical about things of that nature. And frequency works the same way, but it uses bandwidth. And so there are things that we cannot see, cannot understand, any of that kind of stuff. And when we are or ever have the ability to tune into someone else, that's where people will often say the chemistry, the vibe, the energy. It's this incredible feeling, and I get that every once in a while from people when I go by. I can feel that. And it doesn't take very long to figure out that they're into some things that I don't understand, but I know that they have truth to them. It's not the same truth that I subscribe to, but I don't disrespect their belief in their truth. And so with all that said, and everything that I could think of all the trials and tribulations, every reason why I could say I wanted to go and leave, I have this little inner conscious that I call the spirit of truth. If you're a Christian, you call it the Holy Spirit. But I refer to it as the Spirit of Truth, because the Spirit of Truth will speak to not only me, but it will speak to an unhuman, to a non-believer as well. It's a frequency. It can come to me in the form of an angel, I guess you could say, or a thought, or an unction, or something. But a clarity, and just like, I know this, and I don't know how I know this. And when that happens, that frequency, I pay attention to it. And that frequency, that Holy Spirit came to me and said to me, so why did you come to the Orlando of the Ozarks? And to be the honest to God's truth is to be part of a family that I want to be part of. I wanted to find the woman that I really want to be with, and I want to love her daughter like she's my own kid. In fact, so much so that when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about my programming experience, and I'm like, I wanted to be this girl's pseudo dad. And that's SUDO. And so, pseudo basically in geek terms means super user do. And it's a level of privileges that are given above a normal privilege. It allows you to do stuff like reset administrator passwords. It allows you to do things that other users can't do. It's a substitute user in today's terminology, but in the old days, it used to be super user do. And to me, I came here really above everything else to continue to learn to be a dad. Because all the years that I worked in foster care and all the times that I worked with kids in the shelter, it was always a very hands-off, very clinical. And so I never really got the experience of being a dad and having a kid climb on you and just, laughing at fart things just because they laugh at farts for whatever reason, but they do. And they think it's great and funny. And so, okay. And so for me, I'm at a place where I never wanted kids. I never wanted my own kids because there are too many kids that don't have dads, that want a dad. And this particular woman and her child have been my friends for 20 years plus. 20 years, not plus, 20 years ish, maybe 18, maybe 20, I don't know. And I've been through a lot of things in her life with her. I show up at the oddest times. It's like, I know when she's single. I know when she's hurt. I know there's a frequency that we share that isn't like nothing else I've said before. And because of that, we will always be friends. And we can be as close or as far as we want to be. That's really up to me. That's my choice. How close do I want to be part of her family with her daughter? And so this year, I really thought that when I came up here that we were going to work things out. But again, it's right girl, wrong time. And I get it. I mean, I really do. I mean, she's going through a lot, has been, and she's doing a lot of healing and a lot of inner growth. And this time of year, it's just, I get it. I get all of it, and I'm not mad. And some people would say to me, well, you spent all this time up here, you did all these things. I did what was right, and I did it all for one person, and that's pseudo daughter. And when I had an epiphany the other day about pseudo and my pseudo daughter, who I'm going to call pseudo, I want to respect my friend's privacy. So I don't mention her name or her daughter's name. And if I do, I'm sorry. I ask forgiveness now. To people on the open web, because you guys can just be vicious and mean. And I don't really care, because I'll just delete you and block you. I just not into that kind of stuff. But I can tell you this. I'm going to be here for 5 more months. In these next 5 months, I'm going to do my very best to be everything that I wanted my dad to be when I was 7 years old and it was snowing out in my house. In fact, this year I bought a caravan. It's a van, 5.0, getting ready to take it to Daytona. But I've decided that really the reason why I'm here and I don't want to go anywhere is I want to be a dad. And if it is just a pseudo, a fake, even for a little while, this girl is going to know that I have chosen to be here because of her. It's not because of her mom. It's not because of her family. It's not because what I can get or what I can get. It is about what I can give. But it's about me saying, I'm just going to be that guy. And if more people would just stand up and quit crying and complaining and just say, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that woman. And bless somebody unconditionally. Because what I've learned from this woman and this child who, as a Christian, I'm like, I'm coming in going to show you unconditional love. Let me show you about the first chapter or 1 Corinthians 13 and tell you all about it and preach at you. And though I've shown her nearly all of that, there's still something not right. It's called pious. It's called we have to be right. Well, I don't care if someone believes the way I believe or not. When we die, if we are the way you say we are, I haven't lost anything and my energy is released. And we go to the collective, which sounds very much like what Christianity is, just you're taking God out of it. But when we die, we go to heaven, to the collective of people who believe in Jesus. That's what we believe. And when we get there, there's the creator of both those who are Christian and those who chose to be part of the universal collective. And he's going to have to deal with those people the way he sees fit. I don't know what that's going to be. He's the only one perfect enough to judge that. As Christians, what we're supposed to do is love other people unconditionally, beyond belief. And then if you have the opportunity to go even further, then do it, because it's the right thing to do. If we continue to do the right thing as Christians, we will show the love that Jesus wants us to show. And if you happen to be as lucky as me, you can do it just as a parent. Now, I do want you guys to realize, even though it's Sunday and we do the whole Jesus thing, I still be a pirate. And any other day of the week, we might be doing something a little bit naughty. Oh, wait, we got the naughty bag. Oh, I told you about the naughty bag. Anyways, I'm signing off for tonight. When someone says to me now, well, why are you here? I had all kinds of other reasons up until this week. And this week, it's for one reason and one reason only. I'm here for my daughter. And that's what I tell people. I woke up today and realized I have a 7-year-old daughter, and though she may not be the fruit of my loins, there's no reason I can't love her like she is. I know that there have been people in my life, like my Uncle Bob, who love me like his own kid. Probably more so, because his own kids got their ass kicked, and I never did. Except for that one time I snorted off to my Aunt Mary Lou when he picked me up and threw me up. He was like, listen, boy, I'm going to tell you one thing right the way it is. He didn't talk like John Wayne, but he said, boy, let me tell you one thing. You ever talk to my wife like that, you and I are going to come out here and fight like men. And that was the last time I snorted off to my Aunt Mary Lou. He put the fear of God into me. And the fear of God is what is always going to be in me. It's always what's going to drive me. Because I do believe it's true. Regardless of what I do on this world, regardless of the stuff that's going to be coming out of this channel, that you're going to be like, how is that even possible? And why is he even doing it? And how is that benefit? And you're going to be like, what? Our call to do is the same. We love unconditionally. We talk about what happens in our life, and we talk about loving unconditionally. See, I don't love my friend unconditionally in certain areas. Like, I want intimacy. So the hope of me having that being a helpmate to her is pretty slim to none.